भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्टिकी। Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, 25th chapter. This chapter is entitled as The Characteristics of King Puranjana. Text 56. Evam karmasu sangsaktaha kamatma vanchito abudhaha mahishi yad yad iheta tattad evannavartata evannavartata evam karmasu sangsaktaha evam karmasu sangsaktya कामात्मा वंचितो बुधः कामात्मा वंचितो बुधः मोहिषी जज्जद इहेता मोहिषी जज्जद इहेता तत्तद्देवान्न वर्तत तत्तद्देवान्न वर्तत एवं कर्मसु संसक्ता कामात्मा वंचितो बुधा मोहिषी जज्जदीहते न मोहिषी जज्जदीहेता तत्तदेवान्न वर्तत एवं कर्मसु संसक्ता कामात्मा वंचितो बुधा मोहिषी जज्जदीहेता तत्तदेवान्न वर्तत
एवं कर्मसु संसक्ता कामात्मा वंचितो बुधा महिषी यज्ञत् इहेता तदेवन्वर्तत
एवं कर्मसु संसक्ता कामात्मा वंचितो बुधा महिषी जज्जद इहेता तत्तदेवान्न वर्तत
एवं कर्मसु संसक्तः कामात्मा वंचितो बुधः महिषी यज्ञदीहेता तत्तदेवान्वर्तत।
Mataji.
महिषी
Evam, thus, karmasu, in fruitive activities, samsaktaha, being too much attached, kama atma, lusty, vanchitaha, cheated, abudha, less intelligent, mahishi, the queen, yadjat, whatsoever, iheta, she would desire, tat, all of that, eva, certainly, annavartata, he followed. Translation by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Being thus entangled in different types of mental concoction and engaged in fruitive activities, King Puranjana came completely under the control of material intelligence and was thus cheated. Indeed, he used to fulfill all the desires of his wife, the queen. Please repeat after me. Being thus entangled in different types of mental concoction and engaged in fruitive activities, King Puranjana came completely under the control of material intelligence and was thus cheated. Indeed, he used to fulfill all the desires of his wife, the queen. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. When a living entity is in such bewilderment that he is under the control of his wife or material intelligence, he has to satisfy the intelligence of his so-called wife and act exactly according to her dictates. Various Shastras advise that for material convenience, one should keep his wife always satisfied by giving her ornaments and by following her instructions. In this way, there will be no trouble in family life. Therefore, for one's own social benefit, one is advised to keep his wife satisfied. In this way, when one becomes the servant of his wife, he must according to the desires of his wife. Thus, one becomes more and more entangled. In Bengal, it is said that if one becomes an obedient servant of his wife, he loses all reputation. However, the difficulty is that unless one becomes the most obedient servant of his wife, family life becomes disturbed. In the Western countries, this disturbance gives rise to divorce law. And in Eastern countries like India, there is no separation. Now, this disturbance is confirmed by the new introduction of the divorce law in India. Within the heart, the mind is acting, thinking, feeling, and willing, and falling under the control of one's wife is the same as falling under the control of material intelligence. Thus, one begets children by his wife and becomes entangled in so many activities under the control of mental concoction. Being thus entangled in different types of mental concoction and engaged in fruitive activities, King Puranjana became completely under the control of material intelligence and was thus cheated. Indeed, he used to fulfill all the desires of his wife, the queen. So, the story of Puranjana. So, who is Puranjana here? It is important to know at the beginning when we are going through these chapters. Puranjana is a conditioned soul. Who is a conditioned soul? Conditioned soul, there are two types of souls: liberated souls and conditioned souls. Liberated souls are in the spiritual world. And what is the criteria for being liberated? The criteria for being liberated is he is surrendered to Krishna. And when stops to surrender to Krishna, when one does not surrender to Krishna, then what happens? One develops a tendency to become independent. So, surrendered souls and independent souls. The independent souls cannot stay in the spiritual world. Therefore, the independent souls are sent to this material nature. And in the material nature, what does the independent soul go through? He gets a liberty to act independently. But what is the result of acting independently? He comes under the control of material nature, which is functioning according to guna karma. He acts, and according to his actions, he gets the results of his action. And his actions are being enacted in or under the control of three modes of material nature. He is acting in different modes, and accordingly he gets the results. When one gets in mode of goodness, he enjoys sukham. Sattat sanjayati sukham. And in mode of goodness, he gets suffering. He suffers when he acts in the mode of mode of passion. In mode of goodness, he enjoys. In mode of passion, he suffers. And in mode of ignorance, he becomes unconscious. No consciousness. Bewildered, like no consciousness, like means like being intoxicated. Like we see the animals in the mode of ignorance. Animals are in the mode of ignorance. They don't have any real intelligence and consciousness to function. So, this is how the living entities are subjected in the material nature. Urdhang gacchanti sattastha, madhye tishtati rajasa, jaganna guna vrittistha, adho gacchanti tamasa. Those who are in the mode of goodness, they go to the upper planetary system. Those who are in the mode of passion, they remain in the middle planetary system. And those who are in the mode of ignorance, they go to the lower planetary systems. So, Puranjana is a conditioned soul. So, who is a conditioned soul? Conditioned soul is he who acts independently. And who is a liberated soul? One who is surrendered to Krishna. Now, in the material nature, one gets a chance to act independently. He is independent, but he acts. Independent action also has different types. Like somebody acts in the mode of goodness. Mode of goodness means he tries to benefit others and he tries to act in a proper way, following the instructions of the scriptures. So that way, mode of goodness is close to spiritual life. Being obedient is in the mode of goodness. But mode of passion is independent. And the result of independence is punishment. When one acts in the mode of passion, he is punished. He wants to enjoy. In the mode of passion, he wants to enjoy. But the more he wants to enjoy, what happens? Does he really enjoy? In this material nature, this is the most important thing that one has to understand. In the material nature, everybody likes to be independent, everybody wants to enjoy. But the more he tries to enjoy, the more the material nature punishes. Maya punishes him. And those who are in the mode of ignorance, they don't know what is right, what is wrong, like an animal. His happiness is in taking intoxication and falling asleep. That's in the mode of ignorance. And you can see how nowadays, how people are plunging into the mode of passion and ignorance. They're working so hard to enjoy. But the result of that is punishment. And to forget the punishment, they take intoxication. And they fall asleep. No chance of enlightening himself spiritually. But those who are situated in the mode of goodness, they get an opportunity. They get to know what is right, what is wrong. And especially when they come across the Vaishnavas, then they get to know what is the real way. The Vaishnavas are the ones who show the way. They know the way and they show the way. Like we saw, like what one Vaishnava has created a spiritual revolution in this world. Srila Prabhupada, just one person, he created such a spiritual awareness all over the world. And his arrangement is making this spiritual awareness expand more and more. Actually, one person went and taught others. And they took up the mission, they started to teach others. Those who have been taught, now they are teaching others. This is the way the spiritual awareness spreads in the world. The way Chaitanya Mahaprabhu suggested, Jare dakho tare kaho Krishna upadesh. He instructed to those people when he was traveling in South India, and he said, whatever you learned from me, you go and teach others. So they also taught others and told the same thing. Jare dakho tare kaho Krishna upadesh. And as a result of that, a spiritual awareness inundated the whole of India at that time. Now Srila Prabhupada has created that awareness all over the world. So Puranjana's story is giving us a very clear understanding through that story. Once again, who is Puranjana? Puranjana is a conditioned soul. Conditioned soul means who wanted to independently enjoy without Krishna. He wanted to enjoy. And while he is trying to enjoy, he came to this land of Bharatvarsha. The tract of Bharatvarsha is from the Himalayan on the north and the ocean in the south. From Himalaya to Kanyakumarika. That's a very special land, very holy land. And when one gets birth in this land of Bharatvarsha, he actually gets an opportunity to be free from material bondage. So Puranjana, while traveling throughout the universe, he went to many places. But then when he came to the land of Bharatvarsha, And here he got the human form, a spirit soul, while traveling in the universe. He gets a human form of life. Why Bharatvarsha is so special? Because in the land of Bharatvarsha, one gets the informations about the spiritual world. Other ages, it was not possible. Only in India, these informations were available. Spiritual reality. But now, of course, as I mentioned, by Prabhupada's mercy, this information is available all over the world. As a matter of fact, in other parts of the world, it is more available, and the people are accepting more readily. In a way, India has become not that progressive in Krishna consciousness. Now, of course, it's getting better. It's improving. Indian condition is improving. Preaching in India is expanding. People are accepting Krishna consciousness. But Prabhupada had to go to West to tell people, to make the Indians understand the importance of Krishna consciousness. Because due to the influence of age of Kali, people in India don't recognize the greatness of India's culture and heritage. They don't recognize the importance of spiritual culture, Vedic culture. They are enamored by the materialistic culture and the glamour of the West. West is the best. Therefore, Prabhupada had to go to the West. And Americans accept Krishna consciousness. Then Prabhupada brought those Americans to India. And when the Indians saw the Americans have taken it, they said it must be good. And they started to then accept it. Anyway, in whichever way we take it, we benefit. Chaturvidha bhajante mam jana sukritina arjuna artha jigyasur artharthi Gyani cha bharatar sabha. Whether we take to Krishna consciousness being in distress, whether we become Krishna conscious due to our need for money, whether we become Krishna conscious due to our inquisitiveness, or being situated in knowledge, all are beneficial. The matter is that we take to Krishna consciousness. Like a medicine, we have a disease. And if we take the medicine, how we take the medicine doesn't matter. But when you take the medicine, then it works. Sometimes the medicines are given to the children who don't want to take medicine. Children don't want to take medicine. So the mother says, it's sweet, sugar-coated medicine. He doesn't want to take medicine, but he likes sweets. So she gives him the medicine as a sweet, and he takes the medicine. And so this Krishna consciousness is actually the medicine that cures us from the materialistic disease. How we take it, that doesn't matter. But when we take it, it works. And then people see the benefit. Disease becomes cured. So Puranjana was traveling and he came to this tract of land of Bharatvarsha. And here he came across a very beautiful woman. So that is the nature of this material nature, the characteristic of the material nature. A man naturally becomes attracted to a beautiful woman. And what to speak of if that woman is very rich? She's a queen. Huh? So he got married to the queen. She was not only beautiful, she was the queen of entire kingdom, of a kingdom. And by marrying the queen, Puranjan became the king. So, allegorically, as I was saying, Puranjan is a spirit soul. The spirit soul gets a human body. And there he comes across this beautiful queen. Now, who is that queen? The queen is his intelligence, material intelligence. And the material intelligence makes him think that he is the king of the entire universe. That's the situation of this material nature. Everyone thinks that he is the king. He is the Lord and Master of the entire universe. And he thinks that although he may not be the Lord and Master today, but tomorrow he will become. Or he struggles to become the Lord and Master. I will get a very good job, earn a lot of money, then I'll become the Lord and Master of the universe. I'll run a business, make a lot of money, and become the Lord and Master. And the material nature, the arrangement of the material nature is making him think that if you have money, then you can buy anything. And in this material nature, that's the law. Money is the medium of exchange, so people are made to believe that if you have money, you can have anything. Now, materially, one may get anything and everything, but can he get his spiritual needs fulfilled with money? What is his spiritual need? His spiritual need is love. Anyway, that will come afterwards. This information we get from a Vaishnava. The material world, the whole material world is saying, get money and you can buy everything, you can buy the entire universe with your money. So, money is the honey in the material nature. But a Vaishnava comes and tells him that, look, money cannot buy everything. Your need cannot be fulfilled with money. And a person with his experience, he sees that. That's what actually happened when Prabhupada went to America. The youth of America realized money cannot buy everything. Money cannot buy love. Money cannot buy happiness. And they left the wealthy atmosphere of the family. And they took up a life of, like a, in a way it can be said, they took up a life of a sadhu. But the only thing is, they thought that they will get happiness. They left everything in search of happiness. Not quite as a sadhu at that time, because they thought that they will be happy by taking intoxicants. There was, at that time, they produced a chemical, very powerful intoxicant called LSD. LSD. And when one takes LSD, he gets into mental, as they call, mental trip. A psychedelic trip. Like they go to a dream world where the dream becomes a reality. If it's a good trip. If it's a bad trip, then it was another story. And so, and they thought through LSD and out of free sex, they will get happiness. So that's what they were doing. They left home. They were practically living in a park, like no home, under trees, or just some very, very simple way they were living. They didn't have any money, and they then started to move towards California. In California, the weather is not so severe as in New York and other parts of America, and it was also the cultural that cultural center. It all started in the West Coast, in California, this hippie culture, and they started to all gather in San Francisco. There's a park called Golden Gate Park. Beautiful big park. And the weather is not so bad there, so they were just living their life there. And at that time Srila Prabhupada went to America. And what did Prabhupada teach them? Prabhupada told them that, look, what you are searching for, you won't get through sex and drugs. And they also started to see that they didn't get that happiness even out of taking drugs, because they had a feeling like they could see that this psychedelic drugs would take them high, but when the effect of the drugs wears out, then they come down, and that's very, very painful. So Prabhupada gave them Krishna consciousness. So they started to realize that this Krishna consciousness takes you high and you don't come down. Drugs take you high and then it brings you down, you come down. Can you imagine you go to a big height and then you fall? What will happen? It hurts. But if you stay high and not fall, then how it will be? So they started a slogan at that time, stay high forever. Stay high forever. Don't come down, you stay high. So they started to come to Srila Prabhupada, became attracted to Srila Prabhupada's teachings. And Srila Prabhupada taught them about the 4 regulative principles. Their whole life was based on sex and drugs. Prabhupada said, no sex. And no drugs. So strict, Prabhupada, not even tea or coffee. What to speak of LSD, marijuana, hashish, not even cigarettes, not even tea, not even coffee. And they saw that by leading that life, their mind became so clear, their consciousness became so awake, and their body also started to feel. Like when one follows the 4 regulative principles, what is the immediate result? You feel so better, both physically and mentally. So that is the benefit of leading this life. Immediate result is there. One starts to feel real happiness. The real happiness is in being physically healthy, physically fit, and mentally agile, intellectually alert. So, and this is how Srila Prabhupada motivated this youth. So from that we can see that a traveler is traveling in the desert, of material nature, where he is trying to be happy. He is trying to quench his thirst. Can he quench his thirst after running after a mirage? In the material nature, everybody is running after a mirage. He tries to enjoy, but does he really enjoy? He tries to enjoy. Often we ask people, I have asked here also many times, have you really been happy? Until this point? How many of you have been really happy? Okay. So tell me how you became happy. Okay, okay, but before that, okay, maybe I asked the question in a wrong way. Through your materialistic endeavor, have you really been happy? No. Because everyone in this material nature is running after a mirage. Now, can anybody quench his thirst by running after a mirage? Is there water in the mirage? No. So how can he quench his thirst? So in tendency for material enjoyment is like running after a mirage. But one doesn't know anything better. He sees the mirage and he says, well, maybe I didn't try hard enough. And he keeps on running and running and running. Life after life, one is doing that, running after the mirage. But in the middle of the desert, if somebody comes and says, look, this is a mirage, the real water is there. He comes and tells us what you are doing to try to enjoy is just, will never satisfy you. Just go to the water. And where is the water? The water is towards Krishna consciousness. You have to change your course. From materialistic way of life, you have to take to spiritual life. Take to spiritual life. And that person not only tells us there is water, but he pulls out a bottle of water and says, drink. Then can we ever mistrust him? Because he's giving us water. We say, oh, finally I got some water. At least my thirst has been quenched. So this is what a Vaishnava does. He says that water is there. And then the life that he brings us into makes us immediately happy. As I said, like he says, don't indulge in. Running after mirage means indulging in these sinful activities. He says, don't indulge in sinful activities. And when we stop indulging in these sinful activities, immediately we start to experience happiness. He says, chant Hare Krishna. And immediately we start to experience happiness. Then our faith becomes confirmed. Oh, yes, he has given me a bottle of water, so he really knows where the water is. Otherwise, how could he get the water himself? So then, we follow him. And by following him, we get the taste of real happiness. Anandam buddhibardhanam. He takes us to the way, to the area of, takes us to the life of intense happiness, which is automatically increasing again with the time. Anandam buddhibardhanam. He takes us to an ocean of joy. There we not only drink the water, but we can even swim in that water. We can drown ourselves in that. Of course, drowning in the water is very distressful, painful. But drowning in an ocean of joy, how will that be? Joy and nothing but enjoy. So that is what spiritual life is. And that is the information that we are getting by following a pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada. Sharagrahi Vaishnava. O Sharagrahi Vaishnava soul, thou art an angel fair. Lead me on to Vrindavan and Spirit's power declare. He takes us to Vrindavan and he declares the power of the Spirit soul. There rests my soul from matter free upon my lover's arms. Krishna embraces us, our real lover. We all are hankering for love, and Krishna is there to give us all the love we need. Upon my lover's arms, eternal peace and Spirit's love are all my chanting charms. We chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra with faith and rest will happen. Just do that. Srila Prabhupada gave us the perfect way, simple way but perfect way. Chant Hare Krishna, follow the four regulative principles, and remain in the association of devotees in ISKCON. That is what Srila Prabhupada created. ISKCON is the place where we can have the association of devotees. So take advantage of this opportunity and your life will become successful. You will become drowned in an ocean of ecstasy. Hare Krishna, thank you very much. Does anybody have any question? Yes, Nartam?
स्वतंत्र आत्मा और मुक्त आत्मा तो उसमें मैं समझना चाहता हूँ।
अच्छा, वो पहले मैं बताया था, स्वतंत्र आत्मा है जो आत्मा इस भौतिक जगत में आया है। वो स्वतंत्र बनना चाहा, इसलिए वो इस भौतिक जगत के बंधन में फंस गए हैं। हाँ, क्योंकि ये गलत है। हम लोग स्वतंत्र नहीं हैं। नौकर कभी स्वतंत्र होता है? हम सब भगवान के दास हैं, तो हम कैसे स्वतंत्र बनेंगे? हाँ, प्रभु है भगवान और हम सब उनका नौकर। हाँ, अगर नौकर बदमाश हो जाता है, हाँ, और बोलता है कि मैं मालिक बनूंगा, तो मालिक क्या बोलता है? तू जा। हाँ, और कहाँ जाते हैं, कहाँ गिरता है? इस भौतिक जगत में। और जो भगवान के वश में रहते हैं, हाँ, भगवान के पास अपने आप को समर्पण करके भगवान की सेवा में युक्त रहते हैं, वो मुक्त हैं। वो भगवान के साथ आध्यात्मिक जगत में रहते हैं। और वो अगर यहाँ भी होता है तब भी वो मुक्त है। जैसे देखो, कारागार में कैदी लोग हैं, बल्कि कारागार में राजा का कर्मचारी भी है। जो राजा का कर्मचारी है, जो राजा के लिए काम करता है, वो क्या कैदी है? हाँ, तो ये भौतिक जगत एक कारागार जैसा है। यहाँ पर भी जो भगवान की सेवा करते हैं वो मुक्त है। हाँ, तो समझा? हाँ, स्वतंत्र और मुक्त। हाँ, जो स्वतंत्र होता है वो बद्ध है। हाँ, और जो भगवान के सेवा में लगे हुए हैं वो मुक्त है। हाँ, हरे कृष्ण। यस, राधा रानी।
One who is in a mode of goodness gets elevated to the higher energy systems. So in a higher energy system there's maximum enjoyment. So I'm trying to understand in my mind that if one is enjoying maximum, how can one still be surrendered to the Lord and not become enticed by this enjoyment? enjoyment and fall down again.
Very good point. Yeah, those who are in the nice situation, they become attached to that comfort and they don't think of the need to get out of this situation. Like consider if somebody is in a prison and in the prison he is having first class facilities. Would he like to come out of the prison? So their situation is like that. That's why those who are materially very prosperous, it's difficult for them to take to Krishna consciousness. Therefore, it's better to suffer in the material nature. Suffer, but be open to the right instruction. Okay? And
Request is, Guru Maharaj, that whenever you are here, it's not a criticism, it's just a request. Whenever you come, everyone rushes up to come to the class, and then there's no one downstairs to do the English translation from Srila Prabhupada. And I feel a bit sad about this, so I don't know how we can avoid this, because everyone's rushing up so that we don't be late to class.
yeah, because otherwise they'll get blasted.
So there's no one downstairs to do the English translation of Srila Prabhupada's article on this. So
You see, ultimately Krishna consciousness is a voluntary thing. How much can you force? So one has to spontaneously accept the process and follow it. There are some questions from the internet. Kolkata, Rohit from Kolkata. Pranam Maharaj, thank you for the class. If Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and not Vishnu, then why is the name of this Sampradaya Vaishnav? Even before the advent of Krishna, everyone used to pray to Vishnu and not Krishna. Certainly they achieved salvation. Yes. You see, in a way, Rohit, you have answered your question, partly. You see, before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, generally people used to think that Vishnu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And that's why the general tendency was to follow Vishnu or follow the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and they were identified as Vaishnavas. But when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, he gave us an even higher understanding. That higher understanding is that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And this Krishna comes once in a day of Brahma. Although Krishna said, Sambhavami Juge Juge, the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, doesn't come Juge Juge. Who comes Juge Juge is the avatar. And this avatar is an expansion of Kshirodakshai Vishnu. The avatars in the material nature are the expansions of Kshirodakshai Vishnu. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came and he pointed out that Krishna is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not concoct some new idea. In the scriptures it's mentioned that Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. So Vaishnava is the general term, but the more refined, more advanced understanding is beyond Vaishnav, or rather among Vaishnav there are some special ones who are devotees of Krishna. They are called Kashnas. And even beyond that there are another group, they are the devotees of Radharani, and they are called Gauriyas. So we are Gauriyas. We are the followers of Srimati Radharani. We are servants of Srimati Radharani. Those who are servants of Vishnu, they are Vaishnavas. Those who are servants of Krishna, they are Kashnas. And those who are servants of Srimati Radharani, they are Gauriyas. From Delhi, Ajit Avatar Das, Hare Krishna, Pamho, Guru Maharaj, in the month of Kartik, how we can engage more and more in Srila Prabhupada's books. Well, it's up to you. Find the time and read books for your personal benefit and distribute books for others' benefit. So do it yourself. The next question is from Sampath from Seattle. My close friend chants 16 rounds, has left non-veg, but is still not initiated. Does it she requires many births more in order to get pure and initiated? Her husband not initiated and not devotee. No, you see, if one takes to the process of Krishna consciousness, then one can get initiated. Like you can tell her to get in touch with the temple there and speak to the temple president and express her desire that she wants to become initiated, and she can meet different gurus when they come there, and then she can decide, she can choose from whom she wants to take initiation. If she is serious about taking initiation, she won't have to wait for other births. She can get it in this birth only. Thank you, Sampath. Now this is from Sham Pyari. You wrote it, your name? Sham Pyari? It's P-I-Y-A-R-Y. Sham Pyari. Pyari. P-I-Y-A-R-I. Not P-Y-A-R-I. Okay. How much importance does money have in life of a devotee? It depends how much attached he is or she is to it. Money is needed for material, for our material situation to maintain ourselves. Money is needed. But those who are fully surrendered, they don't have to worry about money. Like brahmacharis in the temple. If one is surrendered, then there is no need for money. But if one is not, say for example, if one is in a household situation, when one has to make arrangements for himself, then he or she will need money. But sometimes you'll see whatever one gets, one is satisfied. Let me see what. This is the next one from Kartik Agarwal from Pune. Haribol Kartik. Guru Maharaj, as a devotee goes in his spiritual life, he wants to serve Krishna and spiritual master in many ways. He may not totally disrespect or disregard his authority, but total surrender is not there. As it is also told that one must serve Krishna according to one's nature. So one may work under authority but also want to serve Krishna according to his nature. How to balance it? Okay, very good question, Kartik. So, you see, surrender is the secret for spiritual life. But in the material nature, we have developed this tendency to become independent so much that it becomes difficult to surrender. Therefore, officially the surrender takes place by surrendering to a spiritual master. At least one person one is ready to surrender. But as he makes advancement, his fear of surrender will increase. And so in that respect, it's a process of surrender. You begin with that. And what will your spiritual master suggest? Your spiritual master will advise you to surrender to the authority. spiritual master will never say, surrender to me and don't respect your other authorities. No, that is not right if it happens. The spiritual master advice will be, you surrender to the authority. And in this way, he guides also. And that is how we make spiritual advancement. The more surrendered we are, more advanced we are. More advanced we are, more surrendered we'll become. And as you said, according to one's nature, you see, that is the difference. He is also saying, so one may work under authority, but also want to serve Krishna according to his nature. So you have the tendency to act according to your nature. Now, acting according to your desire or your nature, as you put it, and then offering the result to Krishna. If you have to act according to your nature, but then at least offer your result of your actions to Krishna. I am about to finish the class. Why did you take the trouble to come all the way? I see. Okay. The lift is there. You took the lift? Yeah. Okay. Anyway, he's very wonderful. Right, yeah. Ajitapati is very exemplary. He never misses Mangalarati. And also, in spite of his difficulties, he offers full obeisances to Prabhupada and the deities. Yeah. So when one acts according to his own desire, but at least he should learn to offer the results of his activities to Krishna. So that is karma yoga. Acting according to one's own desire or propensity or nature and offering the results to Krishna is karma yoga. But acting according to the instruction of the authority without any consideration of one's own desire, own liking, one's nature, one's propensity, that is called devotional service. Pure devotional service. So if you can't come to the platform of pure devotional service, at least try to be on the platform of karma yoga. Acting according to your desire or propensity and then offering the results to Krishna. Acha, Ankit Vora from USA. Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. Pam Ho AGTSP. How can we always remember the glories of a Vaishnava and avoid committing offenses through mind and speech? Yeah, because try to really appreciate the qualities of the Vaishnavas. Then you will see their greatness. And when you recognize their greatness, you'll automatically develop your appreciation for them. So that is how one should avoid committing offenses to a Vaishnava. Recognize the greatness of the Vaishnavas. Don't be envious of the Vaishnavas, but recognize their greatness. And the Vaishnavas are endowed with so many good qualities. At least one good quality is that he has surrendered himself to Krishna. That itself is such a great quality. We can appreciate that, oh, he is so surrendered, I couldn't become as surrendered as he is. So automatically you'll develop your respect for him. Okay, thank you very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.